Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we got our Lilithmon mat and our Amplified Machine Dramon, or Mugen Dramon, whichever one you like, helping us out today. And today we got him out because we are going to look at the recent black deck that I built of Diaboromon. I keep it in this box, which is for the old game Chaotic, which was on 4Kids TV. And if you're asking, how long have I had this and why is he in here? It is because I found this box this year at a retailer in their clearance section for games for $2. And I figured I'd cut it a break. It had waited long enough. I wasn't going to let it sit there anymore or go into someone's little area where it's not being used, but it's just like a neat little knickknack. So I put my Diaboromon deck in here. Along with looking at the deck, I have done a price breakdown using the current market value on TCG Player. So I can give you kind of an idea. If you wanted to build one, what would it be? What would it take? Most of the value is in the rares and super rares. If you collected somewhere around what I have, or if you have friends that are willing to trade, I don't think this is going to cost you more than $20, $25 to finish. If you don't have any cards whatsoever, it could be a little pricey, especially if you build one exactly the way that I did. So, let's put a little box off to the side. Starting out with our Digi-Eggs. We're only using Sumamon, because this is a Diaboromon deck. We've got two different versions. The first one is this one here, and he goes for about $1.20 as of filming this video. And I used 3 copies of him. And that's because I couldn't decide which ability I like better. The other Sumamon is this one right here from the Battle of Omni, I believe. And this guy goes only for 21 cents, so a lot less. So those are the eggs down. So next up, we've got, and I put these guys first because they don't really fit with Diaboromon, but I needed 2 rookies to fill out the roster. So I went with 2 Toy Agumons. And these guys go for a solid $1 a piece, and that's probably because of their inherited ability, where you get to unsuspend them. So, this is great for Diaboromons, where I can have them attack and then have them unsuspend, so they can't be attacked for the most part. And that helps a good amount of protection. So that's why he's in the deck. If they come out with another Caramon, or if I get my hands on the promo Caramon, I may swap them out. But that one's kind of underwhelming. Next up, we got our Caramons, starting with 4 copies of the BT2 Caramon. And this one goes for $2.69 a piece at the moment. And that is because he is a rare. Most of the value, again, in this deck is in the rares and super rares. But even though he's priced so much, I would probably say, locally, you could get this guy for a lot cheaper in trades, unless you've got one of those guys who's really a stickler at the value of trades. Because outside of a deck made for Caramon, there's not too much value for him. The next Caramon, which we've also got 4 copies of, is this Caramon from BT5. He goes much cheaper at about 11 cents each. Again, you can see the discrepancy between a rare and a common. I put 4 copies of him because he lets you essentially search the top 5 cards of your deck and add possibly 2 of them to your hand. And then the final Caramon we've got is from the EX set. And this one goes for 12 cents, so a little bit more, but still fairly cheap. And he's a good one because with so many Diaboromons out, he gives a bonus to the other ones. Or to, which one is it? Yeah, for this guy. So, like, if you've got, like, 4 Diaboromons out, with this one being Diaboromon, he's going to get plus 4,000. So that was definitely a staple. The next one, there's only one copy of the Kurisarimon of BT2. And that's mostly because I'm not crazy about this one. I want to get a second of a different one, and we'll get to that one. But this guy is 78 cents. So I'm not sure exactly why he's so high when it's just when you play another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, gain 1 memory. And that's play, so I believe it means like it actually has to come out. You can't just Digivolve over it. So really this is working with the tokens. But yeah, other than that, this guy, not a lot of value that I see, personally. And the next Kurisarimon is this one, from the BT5. And this one is 10 cents a piece. So, cheaper again. And we're getting 4 copies of him. And I like him because his inherited effect, all of the other Digimon with the same name, has this gain rush. So that means that you could play down a Diaboromon, summon a Diaboromon token, and they both can attack that turn, which is great. And then the next Kurisarimon that we got is the one from the EX set. And this guy goes for 12 cents. Which again, not amazing. But we got 4 copies of him because of his ability. So, like, if I ram in one of my Diaborons into something else to kill it, or like if I'm attacking security stacks and another Diaboromon gets taken out, I could unsuspend this Diaboromon and swing a second time. So that's very useful. And then the final Kurisarimon that we got is this promo one, which, like I said, I want to try and get another one of. Currently, he's going for $2.34, so not crazy. I may see if I can find one. But the reason why I like this guy, and I want a second one, is because all turns, all of your Digimon with the same name as this Digimon get decoy. And that is kind of like a mega blocker, is my understand, because when one of your other black or white Digimon would be deleted, you may delete this Digimon to prevent it. So I think that works in battle as well as by card effect. So if someone tries to Gaia Force away one of the Diaboromons, I can choose a token Diaboromon instead, and that is super powerful. Now we're into the Ultimates. And those, of course, are Inframons. And I don't think I said it, but other than those Toei Agumons, it is all Diaboromon line Digimon in the main deck. I do have a side deck, and it does have 2 that aren't from the Diaboromon line. We'll get into those when we get to them. With this Inframon, let's see. Looking over the list, he goes for $1.53. So again, not crazy. I think you get this guy for cheaper if you do locals. And again, don't have a stickler for someone with price trading. I have dealt with a couple of those people. I don't like trading with them because of that. But yeah, I put 2 copies of him. That's because he's great, but he's nothing amazing. Next up, 3 copies of this Inframon from BT5. And this guy is 17 cents, being an uncommon. And I should say that, like, if you go to a good card store where they've got cards in their cases, they should have commons and uncommons for sale for, like, super cheap. The place that I went to, which unfortunately closed down, their commons and uncommons were, like, 10 cents each. Because everyone knows that you open up packs and you get lots of these. And so at some point, there's just too many. So they get pretty cheap. And then the next Inframon we got, the last one I should say, is the Inframon from the EX. And I put 3 copies of him in there. And the reason why there's not 4 and 4 is the same reason for the Digi-Eggs, which is I couldn't decide which one I liked better in certain situations. So I just put 3 and 3 to kind of help hedge my bets in certain ways, so I don't pigeonhole myself into one or the other. And this guy goes surprisingly cheap at 16 cents is what I found. It seems very wrong to me. But maybe some people just don't see the value in him, or again, like, this is really only useful in a Diaboromon deck. So yeah. And speaking of Diaboromon, we're going to look at the Diaboromons now. Starting with this one. Hold on a second. Did I misspeak? No, I didn't. Okay. Had to double check. I've got a list off to the side to me, but it doesn't have their names. It simply has the numbers. So this one is from Battle of Omni. And it's my understanding that this guy goes roughly for 32 cents. I don't think you're going to get the rares for that cheap from the store. Like, rares are probably about $1 each. But that's not horrible. Like, trying to get a full set of this, that'd be $3. And I would pay $3 if I needed them. And then the other Diaboromons, which we've got 3 of, is this one. And this one goes for $3.10. And I have the alternate art version in here. And this guy, he is a lot more costly. This guy is $21.46. So this is where a good heft of, like, my deck's cost comes from. So yeah. And I'm going to go over the price breakdown of, like, what to build this deck versus my version of this deck with all the extra cards in it are. So we still have 2 Digimon left from the Diaboromon line. And that is 2 copies of Armageddonmon. And I call it the Diaboromon line because Armageddonmon is not as known as Diaboromon, because he really appeared in a movie and then he's been appearing in games recently. But other than that, he was pretty underwhelming. Especially because he came out in one of the Digimon movies after the Digimon first movie was in theaters. So you didn't get to see him very much. And this is, again, from Battle of Omni. And he's another cheap boy at about 63 cents. Is what my list is telling me. And we've got 2 copies of him for this. And I put him in there because of his rush ability, and he negates the effects of level 7 Digimon. Other than himself, so, like, they can't activate. So that could help shut down some Omnimons or things like that. And now we get into the Tamers, which I've got 4 of in this deck. And that is Arata Sonata. I hope I'm saying that right. And he's also from Battle of Omni, because that's where a lot of this one came from. And this guy goes for 28 cents. However, again, I have some of the box topper art. I like this one's look a lot more. Like, it it feels for the kind of deck that it's meant to be in. And these ones are like $7.29 each. So again, a good price hike from the normal version. If you're on a budget, definitely go with the normal ones. Because again, they're 28 cents, I think I said? Yeah, 28 cents. So, only if you've got the cash to spend would I go for these. Otherwise, these are just fine. I actually traded for one, and then I really hated the look of 3-in-1, so I did purchase the second one. But whatever. Next up, we have 3 copies of Catastrophe Canon, and one of them is a pre-release. I got that one with my pre-release of it. And these, again, are from Battle of Omni. And let's see, those ones go for 24 cents each. And the pre-release says it goes for $2.59. So not a crazy amount extra. Again, you can get away with these. If you happen to find some of these, great. But not necessary. And then we have 1 copy of Ultimate Flare. And this one goes for 23 cents. So, very cheap. It is a common, so that's to be expected. And now we've got the last 2 in the main deck, which is 2 copies of Black Memory Boost. You might remember we got one of these, and I believe I bought the other one. Because again, I really like the look. I might have traded for it. I don't remember. Can't remember. But these, they go for, the normal version, I should say, goes for $1.32. These ones go for roughly $9.19. So a big price hike. Unless you're super sold on it, the normal version will be fine. And so we've gone over the eggs, the main deck, so let's look at my side deck that I've put together. Starting off with the other 2 Digimon that aren't from the Diaboromon line. Chumon. And these guys are 40 cents each, and I put them in because a side deck is meant to help you adapt to other things, so I could easily take out the Agumons, or I could take out some of the other Caramons for this one, because his effect is your opponent can't gain memory except with Tamer effects. So if there is an option card that they're playing a lot of, that they're getting memory, like Black Memory Boost, if they're using the delay effect on these and getting memory, and their deck is built around gaining memory in other ways, and really elongating their turn, then this is a great way to kind of control that a bit. So that's why he's in there. And then we've gone over it, but 1 copy of Catastrophe Canon, again, 24 cents. And then I put 1 copy of Ultimate Flare, 23 cents. And then getting out of the Diaboromon kind of feel, because again, this is supposed to, the side deck is made to like help you go against other decks. So I wasn't as much of a stickler in the main deck as I was in the side deck. So I've got 2 copies of Iron Fisted Onslaught that go for 69 cents each. Because this one is delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. So if I'm doing a mirror match and I'm going on against another Diaboromon deck, then I can just put this out and get rid of all of their main Diaboromons, leaving their tokens, and the tokens are a lot weaker. So I've got 2 copies of this in case I go against that, or in case I go against Rookie Rush or something like that, where they're just swarming the fields. And then I've got 2 copies of Emergency Program Shutdown. And this goes for 20 cents. So, again, a fairly cheap one. And again, for the same reason, your opponent can't use option cards until the end of their next turn. So you play this during your turn, and they're shut out of option cards. That could help change things in case you need to, in case the deck needs to disrupt more. This will help. And then the final two, which I kind of put in because in case I'm not generating memory enough, I put 2 of the normal copies of Black Memory Boost, which are, like I said, $1.32. And so that's what's in the deck. And just to give you an idea, like, for the Digitamers, like the price breakdown, this is $4.23. The main deck with like the basic cards, none of the alternate Atras, alternate Black Memory Boost, the Diaboromon, just the regular versions. As of this filming, it would cost about $37.96, so about $38. And then the extras, they would cost $5.69. So all in all, if you need to build this deck from scratch, and you could find the cards at price, that'd be $47.88. With the alternate arts that I have in here, the Atras, the Diaboromon, that price jumps incredibly. Because like I said, the main deck, which is where the alternate artwork cards are, is $37.96. The way mine is built, it is $88.53 at market value as of this filming. And so that is that's over double the price. And if you wanted to build the deck, like I said, with none of those, everything, if you had to just buy it straight, that's $47.88. My version, $98.45. So that is over double the price, just because of those alternate pretty cards. And don't get me wrong, they are very pretty. But if you need to do this on a budget, you don't need these alternate art cards. You don't need even the promo cards, I would say. Because they would cut out, I'm guessing like probably $10 off the price. Like, just looking at this, what do we got? First promo is $2.34. Second promo was another $2.63, and the other two promos was $2.64. So yeah, that's roughly $8 or $9 that you could knock off this if you took those cards out, bringing it from like $47 to like $39, which that's twice the price of a starter deck. So I feel like that's not a bad price to look at for a deck if you've been collecting cards for a while. So there we have it. That is the Diaboromon deck I built. Kind of a price breakdown. Going over why I put some of the cards in there. But mostly this one is for fun in locals. Because I have used it in locals quite a bit. And it has a fairly good win ratio for playing. The couple times that I lost, like I was making silly mistakes, or I was my hand was bricking or something like that. Just not the deck's fault. Because like you will get bricky hands every once in a while where you just have all the rookies in your hand and you can't digivolve, so you don't get to draw extra cards. Just things like that. But thanks to like the searching in here, like it helps out a lot with the Black Memory Boost and with the Caramons. So yeah, I haven't had too much. I want to say like somewhere around like 3/4 to 4/5 of the time I have success with this deck. Again, this is just in locals. This isn't in an actual tournament, where I imagine people would be just going hog wild, pulling out all the stops. I've played in previous game tournaments where the only like cards or figures people were running were like the ones that people had like online had torn down and been like, this is the best strategy, this is how you have to play. And there's no fun in those. That's why I prefer locals. I may do a tournament at some point, but I wouldn't go to like expect to win. I would go simply for the pleasure of playing. So with that, if you have any comments on this, if you'd like to see more deck breakdowns, if you'd like to see the other color decks that I have, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help. We're getting close to the 3-digit mark, and that'd be great if we could do it this year. And until then, I will see you next time.